All right, boys and girls, we are going to practice writing some numbers today. And there's two different papers you could use to practice your numbers on today. You could use the lines on your morning job board with your whiteboard marker, or you can use your writing letters board and use the small lines on the back with your whiteboard marker. So when you practice your numbers today, either use your morning job paper and your whiteboard marker, or your writing paper in the plastic sleeve with your whiteboard marker.
Don't take it out of the sleeve, boys and girls. It's there so you can use the whiteboard marker with it.
All right, boys and girls, we're going to start today by practicing the number 1. So I'm going to take my marker out, put the cap on the back, and I decided to use my writing board paper because that was the one I chose to use. So remember, number 1, the special way we do this, we have to start from the sky, and we have a special saying that we say, straight line down, and then we're done. That is how we make a 1. Again, straight line down, and then we're done. This is how we make a 1. Straight line down, and then we're done. This is how we make a 1. And I'm going from skyline to grass line, skyline to grass line, and I'm making the number 1. So while you practice making the number 1, say the same to yourself, the song, straight line down, and then we're done. This is how we make a 1. Straight line down, and then we're done. This is how we make a 1. And keep practicing until you feel like you have some really good ones on your paper. All right, I'm gonna erase my 1s because now I'm gonna practice writing 2. In class today, we practice building these quantities, these numbers. Remember, a number is a quantity, which is how much or how many we have of something. So we built 1, 2, and 3, and now we're gonna practice writing them. So just like with the number 1, we have a song that goes with it. So I'm gonna do it. It's around and back on the railroad track. 2, 2, 2. So I'm gonna start just a little bit past the skyline. I'm gonna go around and then back down to the grass line and then straight line back. So around and back on the railroad track. 2, 2. And remember, I'm starting from the top. Around and back on the railroad track. 2, 2. I'm gonna do one more. Around and back on the railroad track. 2, 2. Now 2 is a really tricky number, so as you're practicing, I want you to make sure that you're really saying it to yourself, the song, around and back on the railroad track, 2, 2. And when you're done and you've practiced all the way to the bottom, I want you to cross out some that you didn't really think you did that great of a job of. I know there's a few that were just not the best 2s that I could do. So I know this looks more like a backwards S. This was too big and off my skyline. This one's kind of floating. So I'm gonna cross those ones off. And then I'm gonna try and find the 2 that I did the best, so that you guys can show us. But I'm gonna try and circle my best one. So I think this is my best 2 that I did. And that's the one that I would want to take a picture of and show our teachers. All right, boys and girls, when you're done practicing your 2s, you're gonna erase the board. And the other number and quantity that we practiced in class today was the number 3. So that's the next quantity we're gonna practice writing. Which remember, quantity is how much or how many. Now 3 also has a song. It's around and around. So like this, around and around, just like a bee. That's how we make the number 3. So again, I'm starting at the skyline. Around and around, just like a bee. That's how we make the number 3. Around and around, just like a bee. That's how we make the number 3. So I went and I practiced my threes all the way to the end. And there's some things that I want you to look out for when you're making your three, boys and girls. Now remember, just because it's a whiteboard marker, still make sure you pinch and rest at the end so you can really control your pen. This hand still needs to hold your paper still. And when you're making a three and you're going around and around, try to make sure that you don't leave too much space. Some of these threes have too much space in here. Or sometimes I see kindergartners, they'll do this as a three. We don't want any campers to be able to hang out in there. So make sure that when you go around and around, just like a bee, that's how we make the number three. You're doing a curve, like a backward C and another backward C, right on top of each other. So if I look at these threes, I accidentally put some in the worm line, and our threes don't go in the worm line. So I'm gonna cross that out. I'm gonna cross out a few of my threes that while I was practicing, those just aren't the way to do them. Oh, this one's twisting around. We don't twist around when we're doing a three. We don't wanna go to the worm line. This one, space there. I didn't go all the way around like a bee. And then I want you to circle your best three that you think you made. So I'm gonna look at these different threes that I did, and I think that this is the best three that I made. Now remember, boys and girls, when you're done practicing your numbers today, your quantities, I need you to erase your boards because whiteboard marker does not like to be erased the next day. It sticks. So make sure you take your sock and you erase your whole board, and then you can put your materials back in your toolbox nice and safe. Don't forget to take a picture of your best number one, your best number two, and your best number three, and upload that to Seesaw.